Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nikita Antoine, and today we'll be doing a lunar framework session for the gibbous moon in Aquarius. So the last reading that I did was for the gibbous moon in Capricorn, and there was a lot of discussion about how when I am planning out these readings, I'm visually looking at the moon. So I'm looking to see where its sign is in so that I can utilize the energy of that moon to create this reading, right? And I during that reading, I went online just to see if the astrological records, if you will, the charts were showing what I was seeing. And what I saw was that everything was actually a little bit ahead of time from what I was seeing visually in the sky. So that reading had a lot of catching up. There was an energy of catching up or being caught up. And it was presenting as us as a collective experiencing some type of tower. So this is of course a tower in the past, and there was a guarantee that an opportunity or something that was very solid and I want to say strong-footed. I don't know what that is, but that word was coming through, strong-footed. That's not a word that I use often at all, actually, ever. Yeah. So essentially, there was an opportunity, something was arriving, it was coming in as the Ace of Pentacles. And it was acting as kind of like a catch, something that would catch you as you're falling out of this tower, as you're coming into the awareness of whatever the tower was presenting you. And it was almost like that part of the reading was a future forecast of what we will be experiencing after the full moon in Pisces, because the overall energy was situated in a space where it was like there was a pause before moving on from something, and also deciding to leap right from that tower. And with the time discrepancy, it was referring to that you might not see this opportunity, the Ace of Pentacles, a seed or something that would bridge you into the next experience. You might not see that until after the full moon in Pisces. It's not going to fully reveal itself yet. But the thing that it was going to do was actually bring you back into the right time. So we're experiencing it as something that seems to be late, but when it finally arrives, it's going to be catching us up. It's a very interesting it's a very interesting energy. And just looking at that from my memory, a little recap. So of course now we're moving into the gibbous moon in Aquarius. And as we're picking up speed, we're going into the full moon with all of this beautiful energy of I guess it's kind of like reminiscence. There does seem to be a sense of longing, a sense of wondering when something is going to arrive, wondering when our next ship is going to arrive, something along those lines. And to carry us all, actually, with the Aquarius energy, the entire collective, into this new space. Got the Six of Cups presenting here. Well, so that we can be with those that are familiar to us. So there's been kind of an energy that's been lingering around in the readings about how we're not surrounded by people who are very similar. They're not similar to us, but the importance to it was that they were actually presenting how to do something, doing a very similar thing, but in a different way. And that was helping to inform our process, right? And so now that that has come and gone, we're in this space of like, okay, yeah, but now I actually want to see others that are very similar to me, coming through as like a soul tribe, you know? It seems like all of the soul tribes were mixed up. Like there's been a mix up, even with the time. It's like there's been a mix up. Some are behind, some are ahead. And it feels like perhaps this gibbous moon is putting us in a space where we're all being like ordered. There's an order that is happening with that Aquarian energy, which is even kind of, you know, I don't know, opposite to Aquarius, right? Aquarius doesn't necessarily rule order. They kind of tend to rule not disorder, but revolutionary ideas. Which in a sense would kind of be like mixing everything up, right? Like having the soul tribes all mixing together. Then it's also appearing as, and this is not, this is almost appearing as like choosing sides, if you will. Because I see Aquarian energy as it's a very liberal energy. And liberal actually just came up in that Sagittarius reading that I just did. And Demeter is here. So, it seems as though we were all mixed up, and now we're going to be put back in order and back into our, like, our pawns, if you will, especially with that Piscean. It's like we're all being put back into the right pawns. The right, I don't know, I'm just feeling into that. Okay, so the right tribes. That's what I meant to say, the right tribes. All right, so let's see. This waning, not, why do I keep saying waning? It's waxing. It's definitely waxing. So this waxing gibbous, let's look at the underlining energy for this waxing gibbous. And the, oh, okay. So this underlining energy for the waxing gibbous is the the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups, see? So in the previous reading, in that gibbous moon and Capricorn, we were in the Eight of Cups. We were paused and kind of sitting, wondering when the next opportunity was going to arrive so that we could jump out of that tower and leave whatever was not matching our soul's resonance to that tribe, if you will. We wanted to leave that behind. And so now this underlining energy of the Nine of Cups is definitely a progression. I mean, it's definitely it's a swift jump right into literally everything that we want for ourselves. So our own wishes, our own desires, everything that we could apply to the idea of what we would see as a very fruitful life for ourselves for ourselves, not the collective. And that's definitely very kind of opposite of that Aquarian energy. The Aquarian energy is something that like thinks more of the collective. So do you see how it's like we're looking at the opposite to inform what we would want for ourselves? It's honestly, it's a little like confusing even for my own self. And I feel like it's like everything is like it's getting really tangled up. All right. So on the split, we have the sun bear. Okay, and I'm talking about that the sense of being tangled up. So it looks like that feeling of things being all tangled up, it's being like pulled apart. Everything is being untangled actually. And slowly but surely, of course, everything is coming into some type of order. And it's when that untangling from what I guess is not actually our idea of what we would want for our lives, this sun bear comes in and is presenting us as being illuminated to what, the sun bear always talks about. It's kind of like your heart's desire. Like it's something that's really, it's very touching. And when it finally hits you, when you are finally illuminated to its presence and it hits you, it activates. It's kind of like a heart awakening. It's activating a heart awakening. Okay, so we're getting really close to that full moon energy. It's like even the light of the sun reflecting off the moon is going to activate some type of heart. It's coming through as a heart awakening. But the underlining energy here with the 9 of Cups presenting itself is showing that this heart awakening, the fuel for it is our own understanding of what our desires are. And so this entire moon cycle has been by looking at the opposite, we can decide what we would want for our own lives. And that's how it's showing up here. It's like it's going to really, really show up in a big way, in a very big way. And it does feel like it might be a little bit after. A little bit after. But when it comes in, it's very swift when it comes in. So the overall energy for this, how do I call it that? The overall energy. The overall energy for this gibbous moon in Aquarius is the King of Pentacles. Very interesting. I'm suddenly remembering that Ace of Pentacles that was in that last moon that was talking about, it was coming through as like a future forecast of what would be showing up in our lives as something that is going to catch us when we finally receive that illumination and decide to jump from the tower. So the overall energy here is this is the individual or the circumstance that is going to catch you, that is going to bring you that new thing, that new either opportunity. It's something that is incredibly stable, and the word is it's like you can rest assured. You can rest rest assured that this is what you're wanting. It's coming. It's coming in. That's interesting. So, okay, what we saw first, what you're going to see first is the pentacle. You're just going to see the pentacle. So it might be even like an offer, perhaps maybe something that's coming to you via an email or a call or something like that. Do you see what I'm saying? It's going to be an offering, but you're not necessarily going to see the individual behind it. And then during this time right now, that's when this person makes their presence known. Could even be like, I'm thinking about if you were wanting to, find, let's just call this opportunity like a job. If you've been wanting to find a job that suits what you truly desire, right? You get the opportunity, you get caught, right? And after you've fallen out of the tower and everything, this would be like the person who owns that business. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Enjoy this Gibbous moon in Aquarius, and I will see you, I assume, shortly, right? For this full moon in Pisces. Bye, guys.